Hello and welcome back to Pandemic Playground with Dave. We are back with surviving Triton Rover evolution, and today we're gonna have to make the belly of the beast. So let's get started. Alright, so today's focus is probably going to be creating the belly of this thing, and that just may be kind of like this shape right here, just to give it that extra protection. You have to lift up the whole entire thing or dismantle it and then fix it up. That's a process we can take a look in doing. And we could add in, as we mentioned in the last episode, a refinery in the back. Not a basic refinery, a refinery. So that's gonna be a bit rough, but we're gonna make that happen. And I know we need metal grids based on what we're looking at right here. We need 20 of them, which we have basically none of, so that's a problem. So I think our first mission is to look for some cobalt so we can make those metal grids. So we should go and find it. So whether we create a new little rover to look for it so we can bring back some, or should we just take this whole thing and start maneuvering it with this monstrosity here and find some cobalt? Easy thing to do is build a small little rover, but do we really want to do that? Or do we just want to kind of attach this craziness onto the current rover and just move with it? So right now we could probably attach it to the back, potentially. But there's a significant amount of space in front too. So there is a possibility we add it in the front in a rough, weird way. So I don't know. Or do we just make it simple? Just attach it and ride with it like we did initially. I mean, we can still turn it. I think we're just gonna have to do that because we need to look for the we need to look for cobalt around this area. So there should be a decent amount of stuff around this area actually. So there's like ice, iron, nickel, plenty of ice. So we just gotta find out where that cobalt is. I'm pretty sure we can find some. If we can't, we're probably gonna have to travel back to one of those areas where we have cobalt right over there. 27 kilometers away. That's ways away, so not ideal to go that way. Alright, so let's just do this. One way I was thinking about doing this is actually attaching it and using some hinges to flip it onto its side, but I think that probably would be a bad idea. Since we can utilize the wheels anyways, why not go ahead and grab it with us? Does this thing have an ore detector? I think we do, right? Yeah, we do. Unfortunately, the range is 50 meters to look for it, but it should be okay. Alright, so let's just do this. We're gonna latch on to this thing here. Let's make sure the merge block is on this time, obviously. And we will have to bring this thing down, so let's just do that really quick. And that would be unlock it, bring this down, and we could have backed up into it, but I think I'm just gonna do it this way. There we go. So we're attached and it's time to look for some cobalt. Alright, so whether we go forward or backwards, I'm not sure. If we go, where was the base that we're going to? Right there. I think we go that way would be a little bit better. So we gotta turn this guy around a bit. Turning radius is quite horrendous, but it's doable. We just keep going, and we're on our way. Okay, so we're just gonna follow along this kind of lake here. We probably shouldn't go too fast because I don't think that thing can handle it. But I didn't realize. Wait, I didn't take out the pistons on the bottom either, so that may be a problem down the line. The back trailer just kind of flipped on itself, but it's gonna be a problem if I run into some things here. So I'm gonna take out at least the blocks in the bottom. We can leave the piston itself. I think that should be fine. Alright, so that's all the pistons. Alright, we're good to go. So we can get on ahead of ourselves. Can't see anything in front, so we're gonna have to drive in kind of third-person view here. hopefully we run into something sooner or later. If not, maybe we'll find our way to the base. And then when I say base, I'm talking about the UVX station. So let's see how far this takes us in terms of going around this whole lake area and see if we can find any more ores in that sense. And I think we can just double check the ore system. It's on. It's 150. No, it's 50. Yep. I could add a large one because we do have what's it call it? Ooh, that's nickel, magnesium, silicone. So that's not even too far from our base. So let's just GPS pointer this as the silly mag nickel. All right. So I wish that was just straight up cobalt, so we didn't have to go too far. But that was a stretch. Cobalt is kind of rare in some, not really rare, but it's a little bit hard to find because they're not grouped up like you just saw magnesium, silicone, and nickel. They're usually by itself for the most part that I'm aware of, and that's what makes it kind of hard to find. Like your gold, silver, and platinum, sometimes one of the two stick close to each other. So, or maybe that's just by luck from what I've seen in the past, or previous experience with space engineers that I've had. But alright, so let's just continue on our adventure here and hopefully we find some cobalt very soon. It looks like we just, before we even say that, it looks like we just ran into some gold. So that's interesting to have right there. Alright, so let's now continue our adventure to find some cobalt. Alright, so it's been only a couple of minutes and I found this large trail of iron, it looks like. I think like a minute, 2 minutes of just traveling straight iron in this long stretch. So that's kind of interesting. Never seen that before. So I might go back for, oh, we found cobalt. It's next to silver. Silver is a great resource to upgrade our tools too. Okay, this cobalt is fairly deep down, it looks like. So that's gonna be kind of interesting to dig for. 70, 65. Yeah. It is pretty much underneath us on the left-hand side of the rover. So let's just get going and attempt to get it, I guess. I mean, not much else we can do about it. It's pretty deep, so let's try to get it as quickly as possible. Right, so it looks like it's about 30 meters deep. So let's see. So about 89 minus about 30. So that's about, wow, 50? No, that don't seem right. How far away are we? 30, about 30. Yeah, that's about 50 meters deep. So the good news is that the cobalt is a significant amount each kind of ore. So I did drill straight down and went a little too far down and not diagonal enough. So the cobalt is right over here and silver right next to it, which is great. So we might stay here for a little bit, and I think if we go back just a tiny bit, there is a bunch of iron that we can mine for also. So the cobalt here if we're looking at it, it's pretty significant, I think. Yeah, 200. No, that's stone. How did we get stone from that? But that's okay. Let me just mine a little bit of this here. And we might have just enough to make a refinery. And then we have to find a way to attach that refinery to our little rover. So let's figure that out soon. So right now we just need to see where we can plug in a large refinery. Or a large grid refinery. So we have to get rid of this whole trailer system in the back in order to do so. So I think I said last episode, if we were to do a refinery, it's going to be this big chunky thing here. And we could place it back here. The problem is that it does take a significant amount of space, as you see here. So it does take up the back two wheels. And I think maybe I should extend the wheels out one more wheel. So that way we can utilize more of the spacing here. But before I do all that as well, I think we just need to kind of place some kind of storage capacity, so I can just get rid of all this and put it into that large refinery for now. So how should we do this? We should probably get rid of the collector since we're probably not going to use it anymore. Let's just get rid of that first. Okay, so the collector is gone, and we can kind of fix all this up as well. Get rid of these things here. Right there, and I think that's fixed in there. That should be fine. Don't need that. Oh, here's the ore detector. It's the basic ore detector that we've always had. That's where that was. Fun. How did I not know that? I don't know. Anyways, if we put a large cargo container, can we put it in here? It looks like we cannot, unless we make some more space right over here. Let's leave that alone for now. Actually, let's take it apart. We should put it a little closer to the cockpit. So I might just fix it right down here somewhere. So let's see, ore detector right in there. Right on the door of the cockpit. Okay. So now with the large cargo container, we can kind of fix it right in here, I think. Hopefully. Looks like we are off by one space. Yeah, off by one. So just get rid of this for now. And eventually the whole thing's gonna have to go anyways. So it's okay for me to do all this and get rid of all these things here. But I think we do need to have that a conveyor junction or so. Or conveyor. And I guess we could keep doing conveyors for now. And this one could be a regular tube going up. Alright, so we'll just place a large cargo container right here for now. We're not going to keep it here, so we don't have to worry too much about this. Why do we not have interior plates? We do. Just part of the basic assembler. Which we can't get out because of the small conveying hose. Oh, but that works because it comes out from here and that comes out from there. Yeah, I guess that works that way. It's fine. So we just have the large cargo container right here. We're gonna move everything as much as we can into this. So why not just start moving everything here? Like so. And looks like it's gonna be a slow crawl to do this. Okay, so everything from this large container is done and gotten rid of. So then we just take it apart so I can put it on to this here. And we're only doing this just to get some extra storage space for the time being. Right after that's kind of all done, said and done, we're gonna have to kind of move this stuff over to better spot. So let's see here. I think we're gonna get rid of this stuff here. So we move as much as we can, and sooner or later we're gonna have to disconnect this whole thing because the refinery is gonna have to end up right over here. So actually, one thing I should really do is make sure I can make a refinery. So why not queue up the refinery itself? So refinery right here. Put in a queue. We can get rid of the metal grids because we don't need to queue that up. I don't think we need to queue up steel plates, but everything else remains the same, which is perfectly fine. And how should we do this is question number 1. Do we use a hinge, a rotor, or should we just use a connector? I'm kind of inclined to go with the connector option. It's a slightly smaller footprint in some ways, and it prevents some wiggle room when it comes to rotor and an advanced rotor and a hinge. So I'm thinking that might be our better bet. But how will we do that? So we have our refinery here. We have the mods, which we probably want to keep exposed so we can use it. So now we can put it this way, and there's a connector spot we can put right there. It does add a bigger, kind of connector thing. So that's another piece to the puzzle. Can we lay it straight this way? Probably. Did we actually make it where we can actually fix it right down there? Probably not. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't. Well, it's close. We could make it wider in that top base here, but we're probably not going to do that. So, well, actually, why not? Why wouldn't we do that? So we got to find a way to kind of balance it out. We don't want it to be too far away or too off of the width of the rover. So right here, yeah, it's about, I think, a block off. Yeah, it's a block off right there. So if we do 2 blocks a little wider, so we're saying kind of like here. Can we do one here and the one there? Is that gonna work? Where's the refinery? Of course, it probably won't be perfect based on where we put the connector and everything like that. So that's another piece of the puzzle. So, how are we gonna do this? So we definitely can do one of 2 things right this moment. We could separate this guy and it still has energy to refine and everything like that with no problem. Through this hinge, we just gotta get it kind of off of this whole chassis right now. And I mean, we could lift the whole thing up and move it, but we're gonna have to lift it up pretty far. So the other way is to just dismantle it. Let's see. What I can do would be a bit of a tricky thing to do. Not the smartest thing to do. Is to turn this into a merge point. Yeah. That likely isn't going to be smart. But I might just do it that way. We put the merge block, for an example, right here. And here. We're going to be able to separate it and get off of this thing. Now, the problem that I'm going to have is this piece doesn't have power. So, how are we going to do this? Well, we can leave it there. And I think we could put a cockpit on this thing. We could do a small one too, I think. Wait, let me think. No. We have to do it, yeah, right here. So if we bring up, I think we just lap on a cockpit right here, right? Or a seat or something like that, or a helm. Yeah, we get slap it on right there. That should do it. Let's see. So we throw a helm right back here. We should be alright. Okay, so it's not gonna work. I think we need to add a couple steel plates over there, just to give us some more leverage here. Let's see. We do it this way. And no, we can't. It's a little tight. I think we have to bring it up, maybe. We can do it this way right here. I think this would work, right? Yep, that works. So we throw on the helm here. A really, really poor spot, but not much we can do about it right this moment. Okay, so we got a helm here. We could drive this thing, which is interesting. Okay. And now we could disconnect it if we need to. So let's just do that. What's also interesting is that we could project it and make it longer this way too. That's a bit of an idea. I mean, project it, weld it up so we don't have to redesign it one piece by piece, and then connect it to the tail end of it so we could extend the whole entire rover just a bit. Should we do that? Let's see. I don't think we need to. I don't want to make this thing way too long. I was thinking of making it, you know, kind of maybe one more wheel width, or one wheel back here, right over here, longer, to carry the refinery. We do need additional one or two over here. So that's what I was thinking about. So I don't think if we add it any longer, it's going to be a little rough to ride through the mountains, because we do need that kind of pivot point so that it can move around. Or maybe we end up making a pivot point, or maybe I'm saying the wrong word, but make it so that it goes up and down a bit when we're climbing up mountains and everything like that, because we have a flat and long rover base. It's going to react really, really poorly climbing up, where only the front and back wheel may be touching and the rest is not doing anything. So there's a chance we might have to do that towards the back, the pivot point for the refinery in that sense. Might be an idea. Well, we'll see how that kind of goes. But for now, we want to disconnect all the merge blocks in the back. We can disconnect the one in front too. We'll do that for now, so we get some space. We're gonna stop right there, and our merge block. And our merge blocks, we can go to the control panel, merge blocks, and we can do off. And that did not work. Merge all of them off. There we go. So that's off, and we do have that kind of connected. So we can get rid of this. Okay, now we can drive it off. So we drive this forward just a tiny bit, and we can actually put this thing somewhere. So I'm thinking maybe we just put it onto the side right over here, potentially. Oh, that is cutting it really close. Okay, we're gonna leave it here, I think. Sure. Okay, let's just detach this, and now we can drive this thing back into. Okay, that was close. Oh, that's gonna roll forever if it keeps moving. That's gonna nick it a little bit too. Okay, so my driving skills not the greatest at the moment, as we have a wide load type of vehicle. Oh, yep, that cleared it. Okay. Okay, so backing it up onto this, gonna be a little tough getting onto the merge point, because as you saw, once I released everything, it dropped just a tiny bit. in the back. So we might have to do some tricky stuff here to get it merged into it. When I say tricky stuff, it's either using the piston or potentially upping the wheels a little bit. So we'll see kind of how that goes. Merge blocks we can have on. I was just curious why we had 3 on, but it made sense. I just backed up and left the vehicle. That was bad. So I think we could power these on, right? Yeah, we can power them on without power, so we're fine. Turn that on. Alright, so we just need to connect in the back somehow without breaking a thing. So maybe we just lift our piston up. I think they'll do it. There we go. Look at that. It's perfect. So I guess our wheels wasn't really touching it. At least our small wheels wasn't really touching the ground. Or is it something I just didn't do correctly? Yeah, the height offset here is all 30 something, so it's fine. Alright, so this is what it's gonna look like right now. I think this is still powered, right? Oh no, we detach off of the hydrogen. Great. So we need the hydrogen in here in order to get the power to get this working. But we could always use solar panels. That's another option. I think we should be okay for the most part anyway. So let's just get rid of this. Now we can access whatever we need to, but we do need to get power on this thing. So we could add a O2H2. I mean, it's not that bad in terms of materials, I think. We have the space for it here, so why not throw it here? We could do it like that. Alright, so we're gonna throw it here and match it to that conveyor junction. Perfect. And we throw the ice in there. And that should create the hydrogen that we need. Hopefully. The vicious cycle, if it's not doing it because we don't have power. So that's fun. So let's just put on, I'm gonna use a small battery because I think we have 1 power cell. Does the battery take 2 power cells? It does. So let's just make another power cell. We can't. We pretty much screwed ourselves here. We need to connect it to power. Not good. I already got that connected, and I mean, we could make. Can we make power? No, we can't make power. We pretty much screwed ourselves here. Not good. I think the only way we can get power is through a solar panel at this moment. Or maybe I just find a way to connect this into that. Because this thing has batteries too. Not a lot. Yeah, not a lot of batteries, but that's an option. So this is not good at all. Okay, first things first, let's just take care of this. We're gonna fix this merge point right here. Okay, so that's all fixed and dandy. Nothing crazy about that. And we want to actually make it a little bit further in terms of the width here. So we're just gonna have to add it this way. I'm just gonna add it all the way up to this point because I don't know what the length is in terms of the refinery currently. So we just put it here for now. Okay, so we expanded that. We do need to kind of get rid of the other blocks here. Oh, let's not do that. Let's do it from here, actually. So that's that. Kind of question is, can we make and produce solar panels? We can. So I think that's the only way we can get some power on that guy for the moment. We still need the sun to come up though, so... Ooh. So maybe we produce some solar panels, because we're gonna need it. It's gonna be the easier way to get some power. I mean, I could just create a whole hinge system and connect it to it, whether using this rover or the mining rover. Either one works fine. And we get some power that way, but I mean, we're probably just gonna wait for the sun anyways, so... Okay, perfect. So we have 2, so that's good. And the reason why I'm jumping is because we ran out and we didn't have enough girders. Great. Or did we? Yes, we did. We did have enough girders. We planned for the future, supposedly. So that's a good thing. Alright, here we go. So we just gotta wait for the sun and we get some power, and then we get enough power to have the hydrants on, I guess, to make... Is that what's going on here? Probably. That is actually kind of weird. It should just... No. The problem is that we don't have any hydrogen in here, which we need the O2 to generate the hydrogen, which the problem is we have no power, so it's not gonna generate the O2. So that's the problem that's existing right now, which is a weird problem to have, but it is what it is at this point. So we'll wait for the sun to come up, but here we can at least start working on what we can in terms of the refinery. So the belly of the beast is likely gonna follow along this here, I think. Right? So let's just give it an example. I think we did this last time. Yeah, we did this last time. We did the height offset all the way to the all the way to the positive, but that's towards the chassis or the base of the rover, and it looks like I dropped it a little bit. But if we do the belly of the beast down here, that's likely going to be a problem. So I think if we keep it right around here, we avoid kind of hitting the bottom of the rover at any point in time in terms of a bump. If this gets hit, then we're screwed regardless, but it's going to be a little high, but this is probably the safe route. So we're probably going to keep it that way. So let's just get our wheels back in order, which was offset of negative 35, was it? 0.35? Yeah, I think so. So we can leave it at... Yeah, so that looks okay. That's not terrible. So we can just do this. And we can do the exact same thing here towards the wheel, I think. So we could just do it this and this. And honestly, if we really wanted to, we could go even further than that on the next part. Meaning right here past the wheel, we can think about making the slope 1 off or 2 off, so we can start here instead. So then our width of our base is going to be 5 instead of 3, and then we slope it upwards like so. I mean, that's a possibility, right? We can do it that way if we want to. So it's gonna look a little off-centered right here, the difference. So this is the wheels part of the body, and then it gets skinnier towards here. We could probably use a different block, I think. But I'm okay with setting it like this, where it's a little offsetted. So at least the wheels have its, you know, kind of wheel part of the body. And then we stretch it out a little bit more on the further side. So I think that's what the belly is gonna look like of this rover. And that should give us a decent amount of space, as you see here, for a lot of things. I mean, for myself, we don't even need... We could be part here, part up here. I honestly don't even know how tall I'm going to make this thing. So, we'll see as we go along. But this gives us some more room to build underneath. So that's a good thing, especially if we're talking about maybe putting a connector down here for the refinery. So I think if we're gonna center the refinery, so that's looking, yeah, I like that look of it. So I think if we're gonna center the refinery, as we mentioned before, We could throw it down here. We could put the mods up this way if we want to, or we could do it sideways like this, and that should give us some room in terms of the mods, right? No, actually it doesn't, so that's not fun. So I think it only works out if I do it this way. Yeah, that might be it. And the mods can stick up in the back. It would be a lot better if I could have just done it halfway this way. So I think if we add it this way, we have to put a connector towards the left-hand side. So, and it's gonna stretch out right into, wow, we're cutting it really, really close. So we're gonna have to put it like all the way towards this side. And it's not even gonna work out too well because we have the slope there. So actually, well, it's gonna be okay. It would work a lot better if it's centered, for sure. So we're gonna see this kind of through here. So here is the belly, right? If we do it this way, let's just stretch it as far as we can here. And we can just add this one here. There we go. So here's the refinery. We'll just plop it on over here. So again, we can do it this way. It doesn't matter which way we do it. But the problem that's going to have is this. Because this is kind of curved out. What we can do, and because likely the connector is going to be towards the end here, we could just do it upwards like that, or put it right over here like that. That shouldn't be a problem, but the problem is connecting like the large port with large port stuff. That's where we're gonna run into issues. If it was right dab in the middle, that'd be a lot better, because then we could add like a large cargo container and everything over there, but we can't do that. So I think we have to potentially change this whole system up a little bit. Maybe, or maybe just this part right here, you know, gets the luxury of kind of having it more squared out, potentially. Just maybe. So it would kind of be like that, which is not what I really want to do. But it would work out a little bit better if it was this way. So for example, there. And if we really want to, we can just weld it up, no big deal. Let's see if I could do this way. So it's gonna be this way. So we can put a conveyor junction right in that port, and then a connector going downwards. So when we plop it, it's gonna connect when it's right above it. It's gonna sit high up like this, which is fine. But we just gotta figure out how this is gonna connect to the large port. I don't think it's gonna be possible. Oh, you know what would be a better idea actually? If we made it to the side instead. So let's just say this is right here. We could put a conveyor junction right on the port, and on the left hand side, it's a connector? No. That's not gonna work out either. A better bet is actually to put it right in front. So we gotta build it tall and then throw it on. So that's probably how we're gonna have to do that. So I don't know how tall that thing's gonna be though. That's the problem. So it's gonna be right up here. So it's about... It is about a large cargo container tall. So what if we did a large cargo container right there first? So it would be... Let's see how that's gonna work out. Put it here. And And then we put a conveyor junction, which is probably the bigger one. Or a tube, either one. Maybe this tube here. Like so. And then we do a connector right here. And then we build a large connector right onto it. And that should connect to the refinery that way. It's gonna be a little longer, but I think that would probably be the way to go. Yeah, that seemingly is the way to go. So how do I add the connector is the other piece of the puzzle here. So I'm inclined to just put some blocks on here and throw in the conveyor. No, throw in the large connector. I don't know how well that's gonna work because it might just break something potentially and just fall right through. If it falls through and breaks a little bit of stuff, I'm okay with that. It's nothing here, it's just steel plates, so we should be okay. But here's the large one, and we can place it kind of like this right in here. And I'm trying to get as close as I can to the body of it. There's a better way to do this actually, and it's with kind of like pistons and rotors and stuff like that, but wish me luck on this one in 3, 2, 1. Okay, that kind of works. And looks like we just toasted a wheel right here. Oh no, we didn't. Oh, we're good. Alright, that kind of worked, except we just needed a little bit more protection here. On each side, I would assume. I know that's not even, but it is what it is. Actually, we could add one more here. I'm not sure if we need a battery for the connector. I don't think so. I think we've done this before without it. So let's just see. So let's just get that large one back here. We're gonna flip around this way. And I'm gonna toss it in. Ooh, that's a little bit on the tricky side. Alright, so I think we may or may not have all the materials. We should. It looks like we do. It might break something once it connects. Hold on, let's see what it does. Okay, so it's not even close to touching it, so that's the problem. So we need to kind of push it in. So let's just problem solve this the old-fashioned way, and that's with a piston. Okay, so that's set right there. This is going to be a bit of a tricky situation, but we're going to just give it a shot, see how it works out. Reverse this thing. It's going to shove it just a tiny bit. I don't want to shove it too much, and it's in there. Okay, so that's good. What I'm inclined to do is increase the strength on this thing. So the connector, we can do right this moment, we can do 100%. This one, maybe not 100% just yet. Oop. Okay, so that was a terrible idea. Luckily nothing broke, but okay. Or some things broke, but not the rover itself, I think. I think we're all set. Yeah, we're okay. Okay. We should have done it a little bit differently, and I just wasted some parts, obviously, from the connector. But we add a connector here, and we do the same thing here to add. Actually, we should bring it down just one more. Could have left that alone, actually. Yeah, let's bring it down one, right over like so. And we just do it this way. That's fine. Okay, you know what? Let's not play around with 100%. This connector. Yeah, let's leave it as is for now. What we're gonna do actually is put a mag plate here. That would have been a better idea. Alright, so this is the end result of it. So basically I put a rotor, a piston, so we can spin this thing a little bit. So hopefully that works out. Not much we can do about it from here, but we're pretty much lined up, and we can connect it to this connector as long as we get rid of everything here. Oh, wrong thing to take off. Okay, so that was a mistake. Alright, we're gonna have to figure this out and put everything back as soon as possible. Alright, so all my efforts are in vain. Didn't really work out as much as I thought it would. So let's kind of do this the right way. Slowly but surely. And I'm thinking we're gonna have to build a little bit of a mechanism where we can use a piston, rotors, pick it up, grab it, and slowly shift the refinery into it. That would probably be the better idea in terms of doing all this. Can we throw in a refinery on the floor, weld it up, and then put it in? I think that's what we should be doing. I mean, if we had to, let's see if we can even produce such a thing. Let's just say, yeah, we want it this way, right? So we can add a refinery over there. Let's take two. We're gonna add a refinery over here. So let's not put it too close to ourselves, but we're gonna put the refinery right over here. Let's not make it too high up again. Right there. We can weld it up. Hopefully we have the parts. Let's just see how far we get here. Okay, so it looks like we're getting way ahead of ourselves here. We don't have that much steel plate. For some reason I thought we queued up a whole bunch, but we also probably used up a whole bunch. Well, not really, so it's a little surprising that we're a little out of steel plates. Maybe I didn't really make too many of them anyways. It's fine. At least we have most of the parts here, and we can start making... Well, we're off by 200, so it's not too bad. So at least we can attempt to make the rest of this here. So I think we need some interior plates. And what I'm thinking in terms of connecting to that is basically in the form of having a connector right here. So we put a connector right here, like so. And once we have the parts for this, we can just throw it on and carry it and bring it up towards the top here and connect it there. So that way we have a large refinery system stuck up there. So I'm not even sure if that is the right sizing for it, but I think we're gonna go with it and see how that works. So we definitely need either a large grid piston rotor hinge system, or we use a small one. We might get away with using a small one as long as we put ourselves to the ground. But in the meantime, like I said, we're gonna work on the belly of the beast. So let me go ahead, put some more blocks, weld it up, and move on from there. Alright, so the sun's just about out, and it's behind the mountain, unfortunately. But we gotta wait for that so we can refine a little more steel plates and get the materials from out here or in here. There's a lot of stuff in here that we can gather, and we need it. But we sat around, waited around a bit, and just got enough steel plates to put all these little steel plates on, and then we were able to weld up the refinery a bit. But we do need to move it, but that's going to be for the next one. We're going to see how that's going to go based on how things went today, but hopefully a lot smoother, because we nearly broke the whole rover at one point, which was a mistake. But luckily it didn't. It just launched it up just a tiny bit. But we do have the extra wheels. We added this little space here just to make it look a little decent with the wheels next to it. And it does reduce the size in here a little bit. It's tall enough, I think, for myself, probably a block or two difference off. So what we can do from here, we can extend this out with a slope too. Or maybe we just make it flat. Make it a little taller, or a little bit more to it. We could even extend up to here instead, so we give ourselves a little bit more space here. But in this space that we have here, we can actually put large cargo containers. I mean, we could probably end up getting rid of this thing here. Yeah, we don't need these, so it gives us a little more space on here if we want to put large cargo containers here too. So this whole bottom piece underneath the refinery, we could throw in a whole bunch of large cargo containers, and then from there on top we'll put the refinery and everything like that. It looks like it's a bit taller than I would prefer it where the refinery is, so I might have to lift this up a bit more too. So a lot's kind of in the air right now in terms of putting this refinery, because it's giving me the most trouble here. I was thinking to put it up to right there, so it should give us some space on the bottom. Actually, it doesn't look like much at all. Yeah, it's not gonna give us much at all. Well, actually, we even have it a little too low, so we're gonna have to bring this thing up even more. So probably right around here. So that connector needs to be a lot higher than where it is now. Now, is that gonna make it a little too top heavy? Just maybe. So that's the problem we're gonna run into. Should we use a large refinery? Probably not, but we're just gonna give it a shot. If all goes to you know what, then we'll probably look into the mod to use a small version of this large grid refinery. Potentially. Let's see how it goes first. But like, for the most part, we got most of the belly down packed here. We don't want to get rid of the chariot just yet, because that's where our cockpit is. I haven't even thought about if we're going to use a cockpit or using seat system. I don't know yet. But that's for today's evolution and the belly of the beast plus the refinery attempt. But unfortunately, it was a bit of a fail. Hopefully it works out a lot better next time. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up, like the video. Don't forget to comment down below, subscribe to the channel, and once again, super thanks is activated, so feel free to support the channel that way. Proceeds from there is going to be going into our equipment and software to make our videos a little bit better. It's not necessary, but we would be very grateful. And once again, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.